Still thought I had time. I was grooming
No.
myself a bit. Yeah, y'all, it's Monday.
Mindset, motivate, move Monday.
Mindset, motivate, and in a mood Monday. Leroy's in the
what,
mood.
what Chris Tucker said, and I don't know if you remember that when he was on Def Jam and he came out and he said, "I'm pissed off, man." He said, "I'm pissed off, man."
People, let's come in.
Let's go.
We only got an hour with Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. today. It's
Yep.
Monday, so he cannot spend all of his time with us today. Leroy, how you said you going? How you say you going to do the podcast today? What's your
Oh yeah.
posture?
Yep. I'm sitting like this all day today with my lip poked out. I got my Grinch hoodie on because I'm mad. I'm pissed off, man.
Oh my God! Yeah, we gonna see what the people got to say today. Good morning to
Yeah,
y'all.
cause you know they gonna come for me, right?
Yeah,
You know
they
they
got
come.
to. This
Uh,
is what happens.
yep, that is true.
I saw a post yesterday with Lamar Jackson morphing into Dak Prescott.
Oh yeah. Did you see that? Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, come on, y'all going too far. And see, that's the downside of this and him, and it not performing is now. I know, bro, I haven't even watched any of the sports analysts because I know that all they're gonna do is dog Lamar Jackson. This man has had an outstanding season, and this was a moment that he wasn't able to step up in the morning. And actually, if you look at his stats, he actually performed better from a statistical standpoint than Patrick Mahomes. He had two turnovers, and
Critical.
that
They
was
were critical turnovers.
exactly.
Yeah,
And you can't do that in these types of games against
yeah,
these type of opponents. You can't do it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just absolutely can't do it. And that's the barrier between being good and
And
being
being great.
great.
Those
It
of you that are
really is.
watching, we're about to talk about it. We're going to talk about it for a good 59 minutes. I'm not even going to let him off of here until the clock strikes 11. He will be here and get all this smoke. Crystal Fendi Styles Clark, look at your boy. He's sitting there with his arms folded. He
There
don't
she
really talk
is.
this
What's up,
morning.
Krista?
He don't want to really talk this morning. But I give him credit. I give him kudos. He showed up. He knew what the
Oh,
party
no
was
doubt.
gonna be like today. He showed up.
Bruh, isn't this what we talk about in Reman? We
Yeah,
say this
absolutely.
every single day. We talk about it. You know.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, I would be a hypocrite if I did anything less. You know
That
what I'm
that's
saying?
that's right. Take all this
So
smoke.
exactly. I'm here for it. And
Dwight,
shoot,
what's happening, man? Good to see you, my guy.
I'm even here to give some smoke to the Ravens coaches because they was horrible. The game plan was horrible. Play
Look,
calling was game planning was trash. As my buddy said, it was trash,
he-
straight
he-
trash.
he's upset. He's upset today, y'all. This is not the kind Leroy that all of you know. This is
That's
not
right. They gonna see the other side of me today.
this is the other. Hey everyone, I'm in the office today, so I'll be listening. I'll be in listening mode. But what a disappointment! No Della says she can't even talk today, but she wants you to know what a disappointment you and I'm paraphrasing this for her. She is my new sister. I feel her spirit. This is what she's saying. Leroy, you're a disappointment. You're a disappointment. and the Baltimore Ravens are a disappointment. So she says, "What a disappointment." I am putting it in context. Context.
See,
Crystal, you know what's going on. Leroy came up here last week with all this. He had his jersey on. He doing all this the entire time. He flashing us. That's what Nodella. I think Nodella called it. He flashing us last Friday. Now he's humble. He's humble. The Lord.
I'm still running my mouth. I'm gonna still run my mouth.
Humbled him. Look, Crystal.
This why she moved from Baltimore. Oh, that is so wrong. That is so wrong, Crystal. That is so wrong. But all right, I'm about to.
She coming to your rescue. My baby coming to your rescue. Are you being a sports bully? I am not. I am not. But Mama said there would always be days. Mama always said there would be days like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not being a sports bully. No, ma'am. I am. I'm being a gracious host today.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, y'all. If y'all think Donald is enjoying this too much, put a 1 in the chat. Because he is enjoying it, every bit of it. Enjoy it. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Enjoy it. That's okay.
Let me tell y'all, my prayer life was on 10 this weekend. My prayer life was on 10. I was praying that there would not be a win. Look. Marla said 1.
See, even Marla knows.
I'm just saying. Okay, brother Leroy, it's okay. Take your time and explain what happened, bro.
Here's the thing. And I like I told you, I was looking at the game after looking at the game, and even while the game was going on, I said this thing, and I told you I was going to take it and use it in the context of Remain, and what we talk about mastery, we talk about excellence. If you're going to operate in excellence, there are 3 things, and I talked about this morning. You got to prepare, you got to plan, and you got to execute. The preparation was wrong because they had the wrong game plan. If your game plan was to throw 39 times and only run the ball 16 times, and you're the number 1 rushing team in the league, what are you doing? What are you doing? So the preparation and the planning was wrong, and the execution. You look at the penalties that the Ravens got. The penalties that they got they had nothing to do with Kansas City. Absolutely nothing to do with Kansas City. It had to do with them. Had to do with the Ravens using their aggression against themselves, and using and the inexperience that they had. They weren't ready for the moment, Donald. They weren't ready for that moment. And somebody did this post yesterday, and I thought it was perfect. They said hype does not beat experience. The Ravens got caught up in the hype. The city was behind them and everything like that, but they allowed that hype to overshadow who it was that they were playing and the experience that they had. The Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce had been in this moment 6 times. Actually, I think maybe even 7 times prior to this. They've been there. They know what it takes. They knew what game plan that they were going to have, and they went out and they executed it. But the Ravens allowed themselves to get caught up in their hype. They thought that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to just lay down and allow them to walk into the Super Bowl. No, sir. You got to, if you're going to, as Lamar said, if you're gonna beat a champion, you got to beat the champion. And you did not do what you needed to do in order to be able to beat the champion yesterday. Bottom line. It's all about execution. It's all about preparation, and it's all about understanding who you are. The Ravens got outcoached. No adjustments. No adjustments at halftime. You still came out throwing the ball. That's all you did. Gus Edwards had 6 carries. That's it. Lamar had the most at 8. So half of your rushing was done by your quarterback yesterday.
More than half.
No, it's 16. They only I looked the stats up. They only rushed about 16
times.
And he did 8.
Somebody else. 8 comes from Lamar, and somebody else rushes as well.
Right.
Got it.
So and you're the number 1 rushing offense in the league. And I've been saying this for the past several weeks. You let them boys up front, and you know this about football. You let them boys up front get going, start pushing, because they got pushed around. Kansas City was pushing them all around on the offensive line and defensive line from Jump Street.
I want you to use more inclusive language, like we, not them. Like
okay. Absolutely.
Kansas City pushed us around. Like include yourself.
No, absolutely. They got Kansas City came in and like I said about the Lions came out and punched the 49ers in the mouth. The Kansas City in those first 2 drives, they punched us in the mouth and said, "We here. We came to play." And if you don't match that intensity with what we come to play with, you going home. And that's exactly what they did. Matter of fact, they didn't even have to go home. All they do was hop in their cars and drive up 83 to Westminster last night. Because you ain't got to worry about going to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? But they did. They are the and have the potential to become 2 back-to-back champions right now. Because they came with a game plan, they came prepared, and they executed that plan that they had. And Kansas City didn't. It wasn't like they played, lights out, because the Ravens defense did only allow those two touchdowns in the first half. They didn't do anything in the second half. But the Ravens offense got away from what they're doing, and I don't care what people
Chris,
say.
I got to make him own it. He on here disconnecting. He on here disconnecting, talking about them, they. No. So if they would have won, it would have been us, we. So I'm making sure he owns it.
No, absolutely. But here's the thing too, and people may not understand this or whatever, but putting Mark Andrews back in the lineup, I think hurt them offensively. Likely, who is I believe he is going to be a great tight end. They did not use him as they had. He wasn't used as he has been in the several games since Andrews has gone out. The offensive coordinator did not use it, and that was a huge mistake, because that should have been a matchup that we utilized to create a mismatch. So I don't know what they were thinking. I know what they were thinking. They've been on this path, bro, of trying to keep Mark Andrews in the limelight because they want to keep him, and they've been trying to keep Likely kind of pushed back, but he's been shining. His numbers are comparable to Mark Andrews if you look at him. So
let me tell you what I saw, and I don't know. I should have texted you, but I felt like you were probably somewhere hugging a bottle. I figured you were somewhere hugging a bottle in tears with the drunk cry. The drunk uncle cry. I thought you might be something, so I let you be great. I didn't want to bother you. Johnny Bazemore said it's gonna be okay, Doc.
I know. Hey, bro, they had a
Keyshawn
good
said
season.
absolutely
I'm
is
not
this.
like some people and change teams. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Ain't
listen.
loyal at all. I
My,
ain't
my,
going nowhere.
my son been talking about me on Facebook. Keyshawn said absolutely it's disrupted the chemistry of what got them there.
Yeah.
Johnny
Yeah.
says they was not thinking. Dwight says secondary role. Listen to me. Um, let me tell you when I knew. Because as you know, I'm a loyal fan.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm a loyal fan of the
Loyal to the
Philadelphia
next team
Falcons.
that you until you choose your next team. That's about it.
The Philadelphia Falcons. Yes, ma'am, Sonya. We'll deal with that. Sonya
Yeah.
says, "Can you speak on San Francisco versus
Yeah.
Kansas City?
Definitely
Who
want to
is
get to
likely
that
to
too.
win the Super Bowl?" I will. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to let Leroy off the hook in a moment. But he came on here with his Grinch hoodie on, with no intentions on really talking. he just said he's going to sit there. And this is going to be the most one-sided podcast we've ever had. So yeah, Lamar did look weird. He looked like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. But let me tell you what I really saw. There were so many mental mistakes.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
got to be able, and we said that we were going to kind of address this and kind of and look at it through the lens of being an entrepreneur. Sometimes, and Leroy talked about the fact that sometimes it's the system, it's the plan, right? Other times, the system and the plan is okay, but your mindset is off,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And it wasn't just, it wasn't just, to Leroy's point, it wasn't just the mindset of frustration. They couldn't even keep their head when they were making good plays,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
So you get a
Mhm.
guy who catches the ball and then he want to spin the ball in front of
Spin
the
the
guy.
ball right
Come
and
on, bro.
stand up. That's dumb stuff.
That's dumb,
Yeah.
right? And so the game is won and lost in the mind of the player.
Yep.
Listen to me. The game is won and lost in the mind of the player. If you look at if you look at Pat Mahomes, one the last pass that sealed it. The boy is relaxed. He's like, I've been here before. It's
Yep.
like we talked about before, right? With Kobe. Like, I've been here before. I practiced this. I've been this is normal for me. It's
Yep.
not a big deal. And one of the things you said, Leroy, online that I want you to elaborate on a bit is say so, Don. Champs don't do, yeah, champs don't do that. Like, we ain't got nothing to prove. We ain't got nothing to prove. I'm not gonna spin the ball in front of you.
Right.
The refs already gave him a pass because he pushed him. He got up, pushed him down.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The rest
Yeah.
was like, no problem. But then you spin the ball. Come on, man.
Ball standing over top of him and you
Stand
spin the
over
ball.
top
You know.
of him, spin
Yeah.
the ball, and you got to keep your head
Yeah.
in the moments. And I think that's what you meant when you were talking about, the moment got too big for him,
Mhm.
right? The moment got too big for him. They couldn't survive the moment. And I happen to believe that Baltimore was a better team. I do. I believe Baltimore was a better
Mhm.
team. I think they made so many mental mistakes, fighting and all of that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you gotta have the right plan. That's Leroy's absolutely right. You have to have the right plan. But if you got a right system, in this instance, they didn't plan well. And I'm saying this because Leroy said it. I agree with him. They didn't plan well. They didn't keep their mind. You can't win when your system's not right, your game plan is not right, and then you making mental mistakes.
On top of that, yep.
It's a done deal. Not against Kansas City. Now you can
Right.
do that against somebody else, a lesser quality. But when you play Kansas City, you got to bring your A game. Everything got to be solid. So can you talk about the mental mistakes of being an entrepreneur? And then we'll get back to Sonia's point about, let's talk about what has to happen in the Super Bowl.
And that's the thing. As entrepreneurs, y'all understand this, that you're gonna have moments. You're gonna have have obstacles. You're gonna have those things that come that force you to be able to be ready for the moment. And that's what we do here. And as I was thinking about all of this, Donald, I was seriously thinking about the challenge that you had last week.
Yeah.
The 5-day challenge.
Yeah.
And what that 5-day challenge did coming out of it, this is what I got of it. This is I'm speaking to me. What I got of it are that planning and that preparation for the moments that I'm going to face as an entrepreneur. And we talked about this all year. If we're going home, as we talk about this year, if we're going home as men, we got to first prepare, we got to plan, and then we got to execute in order to be able to go home.
Absolutely.
But in that planning and the preparation, which is what part of what we did last week with the challenge, you gave us the tools to be able to operate in those moments.
Yeah.
So that the moment doesn't become too big for us.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, I've been
That's
here.
So good.
I know I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about Kobe, we talked about Magic, we talked about Jordan. They've done it so much in practice that when the moment gets there, it's just like I already did in practice. Yeah. Jordan said that very thing. He's like, I did this every day in practice.
Yeah.
So when I'm in the game, it's no big deal because I've run it so many times in my head.
And let me say this too. You got to go as hard in your preparation game as you do in the actual moment. Otherwise, you won't be prepared in the moment.
Here's the thing. The practice should be harder than the moment.
Absolutely. Right. Keyshawn said at some point we have to give credit to the Pat Mahomes effect. He is the equivalent of Mike Tyson, Mike Jordan. You feel like you have lost before you step foot in the game. You begin doing things that are out of character because you know what the other player brings. I understand that. But let's be clear. When you are, I think it was Bobby Knight. Y'all remember Bobby Knight, the coach of Indiana, right? University of Indiana. Bobby Knight was always asked, I think it was Bobby Knight, who y'all playing next? What's your game plan for who you playing next? He said, I ain't got a game plan for them. We do what we do. We make them adjust, right? So it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the ball. It doesn't matter who's on the other side of the field. You have to plan. You have to have a game plan, right? You got to be able to expose the weaknesses of the other team. But let's be clear. It's not like Kansas City has been playing their best football. It's not like that. They haven't been playing their best football. This isn't the best. This has been the most adverse Kansas City team, the adversity that they've experienced, the obstacles that they've had to overcome. I give them credit for that. I really, really do. But this is not their best year by far. This is not their best year. So this
isn't their best team either. This isn't the best team that they have.
Right. So when I'm on the other side of the field, I'm saying to myself, oh, I got a chance. I got a chance. Like this isn't, I'm going to take advantage of this team because I don't know when I'm going to see this team again. So I'm going to take advantage of this team. And they did not take advantage of that team, right? You have to be willing. You can't get frustrated. You got to be calm. I've watched Pat Mahomes, to Keyshawn's point, I've watched Pat Mahomes over and over again in difficult scenarios, difficult situations. And the dude is relaxed. Yep. When I saw Lamar on the sideline, like throwing his helmet, I said, it's like what love got to do? I'm in here, Ann. I'm in here.
I'm in here. Yep.
Right.
Very true.
I and it's Keyshawn. It's almost like, and those of you that are friends of my son's online, Keyshawn Britt is his name. He's my son. Please go to his page and ask him to stop disrespecting his father. He's disrespectful. He's incredibly disrespectful. And I need y'all to go on his page, tell him to be disrespectful. Coach said, "What's up, bro?"
I know, Coach happy. I know, Coach happy this morning, ain't he?
Coach almost pissed himself though, because
Yeah.
it didn't look good for a while. I said, okay.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Leroy, talk about the Super Bowl, man. Who's your pick?
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say Kansas City. That's gonna be a good game, but I just think that there's something about now this team. Kansas City's been there. Do you know they've been to the AFC Championship 6 years. They've been to the last Super Bowl. I think they've been to the Super Bowl 4 out of 5 years.
Yeah,
The last 4 out of 5 years, Kansas City's been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've won 2 of them. They won 2. And so I just think that there's something about, like we were saying, there's something special about Patrick Mahomes. And that, you ever remember Bill Walsh and Joe Montana? Remember Chuck Nolan and Terry Bradshaw? I'm trying to think of another coaching combination. The Tom Brady and Belichick. There's these coaching and quarterback combinations that are just special, and I think Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are in that caliber.
Yeah,
because this dude, he don't know nothing but AFC Championship games, bro. And going to the Super Bowl, that's he. Like, look,
yeah.
So when you think of it in that context, I think that Kansas City, to me, yeah, I know San Francisco is going to be a very formidable opponent. They came back, but I tell you what, they can San Francisco and play around and get punched in the mouth like that by Kansas City. They not gonna come back.
They're not coming back like that. Yeah.
No.
You get punched in the mouth, you might as well go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Just lay there and fake it. Like, just lay there and fake it. Like, yeah, this too much for me, right? So Calvin Mann brings up a point, and we're going to have Calvin Mann on. I think it's an important point. The actual difference is Patrick Mahomes has a father, and the emotions from Lamar Jackson is from mom. It's always a factor. It is a factor. Being able to express yourself, being able to control yourself, not just as a father, but an emotionally intelligent father, right? And every father, let's be clear about this too. Every dad ain't a good dad. Every dad is not equipped to be a good dad and is not necessarily emotionally intelligent. I get your point and agree with your point that there's something about dad in the picture that shifts the trajectory of how a young man is raised. I can't deny it.
Nah, and I'm going to disagree with y'all, because I've seen Tom Brady come to the sideline and be just as angry, just as frustrated as I've seen Lamar. Though it's, slam his helmet down, do the same thing. And he has his mom and his dad in his life. So I'm not in agreement with that that's a factor.
Well, it's always a factor. I'm not saying that it was necessarily a factor in this, but it's always a factor. It's always a factor. The competitive advantage is always a factor when it comes to being able to overcome a moment. It's always a factor, right? Having in every area of life, and we're not going to get into fatherhood. We did that a couple of days ago. But there are also with every rule, there are outliers to that rule. There are exceptions to that rule, right? Dads in a young man's life shifts the trajectory of that young man's life in every area of his life. Every area, 100% of the time, right? Unless he is a malfunctioning dad, right? So we talk about inside Remand missing dads, but we also talk about malfunctioning dads, right? There's a difference between a dad who is missing and a dad who is malfunctioning, because a dad that is missing might be more healthy than a dad that is malfunctioning.
Mm.
Right? If you're modeling a behavior in front of me that is not healthy for me to see, just because I'm present don't mean it's healthy at all.
Say that again, because
Yeah,
a
just
lot of
because
folks
I'm
don't.
present doesn't mean I'm
A lot of
healthy.
folks
I'm a
don't
healthy
understand
model
that, man.
at all, right?
They,
So I think there's conversation to be held for that. Keisha says, is there really ever a time where you feel comfortable betting against Pat and Reed? He is this generation's Brady and Belichick.
mm,
Yeah, let me tell you this. If you go, just like you mentioned the Mike Tyson reference, right? If you go into the fight already defeated, yeah, you're gonna.
yeah,
It don't matter who's
yeah,
on the. It doesn't matter who's in the opposite corner of the ring. Like you're gonna lose. You already lost in your mind. Your
yep,
spirit is already lost,
yep.
right? But I don't give a doggone who you play, who you fight, right? You better go in with a mindset that says I'm better, I'm as good, if not better, than the person across the field. If you don't do that, don't show up.
And bro, I wrote this poem years ago, and it's in one of my poetry books, and it's called "I Belong Here." And it was me coming to that realization that I belong where it is that I'm standing in the moment that I'm standing in. You gotta believe that.
Yeah, you got to believe that.
You got to.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to.
There is
Because
no
if you
trivia
don't,
question today, Crystal. There is no trivia question today. This is the special edition, Let Leroy Cry edition of the Grown Man Podcast. There's no trivia question for the day. Yeah, so Keyshawn also says this. He only 27.
yep.
The boy only 27.
Yeah,
Right?
both of them. Both of him. Lamar's 27. I think Pat Mahomes will be 28. I think he's a year older than Lamar. But yeah, but they are for sure. They both got a good 10 years.
Oh yeah.
In the league.
Yeah.
Barring staying healthy and everything like that.
For sure.
So yeah, they're gonna be good for a minute.
Okay, here's the trivia question for the day. Today's trivia question is sponsored by the Remand Book, The Spiritual Journey to Mastering Life, Leadership, and Legacy. If you have not gotten your copy of the Remand Book, go to www.theremandbook.com and get your copy today. The trivia question has been presented by our dear sister who asked, let's talk about the Super Bowl and who's going to win the Super Bowl. Leroy, so you said Kansas City. Is the Super Bowl being won by Kansas City a matchup issue? Is it a hunger issue? Is it just a toss of the coin for you? Tell me why you picked Kansas City.
Looking at a couple things. One, I think Andy Reid and Mahomes are better than Shanahan and Purdy. That's one. So coaching is an aspect of it. Shanahan is a good
fair. I think everybody would agree that's fair.
Yeah. Here's the second thing. And if you look at the game yesterday, what did we say about the Detroit Lions? They came out and punched Kansas City in the mouth from an offensive standpoint, which meant they moved the ball up and down that field. They're not doing that against Kansas City. Oh,
Yeah.
Kansas City is. I promise you, Kansas City, their offense will move, but their defense is better than San Francisco's defense.
Mm.
So those are the two differences to me. Is Kansas City's defense, because Kansas City has a great. This is the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has had on his team.
Yes, sir.
So I think from a defensive standpoint, and then Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, their ability to game plan are going to be the difference in the game to me.
Coach said, what numbers are you looking at?
I'm just being real, Coach. You know, like I said, San Francisco's defense is not as good is not good or even on the same level as Kansas City's. Kansas City, I don't know where. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Coach. I don't know where San Francisco's defense is, but I know Kansas City's defense is top 5, the least top 10.
Coach says San Francisco has the best offensive efficiency of the entire NFL.
And I got you. And I'm not going to disagree with that. But when you're playing against a tough defense, you're gonna have to be on your P's and Q's. And Kansas City has a way from an offensive standpoint with Kelsey, Mahomes, and Andy Reid to be able to get down the field and score enough points. They scored just enough points yesterday to win. And that's what it's about.
Yeah, I think it comes down to who is permitted to make the most mistakes and still win.
Yep. Right? And turnover.
Who's
turnover thing is huge.
And I think that Kansas City can make a couple of mistakes and still beat San Francisco. Yeah. So I think I now, although I contradicted what my son said, when Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid,
and it's like, bro, it's like you know what they're gonna do, but the question is, can you stop them from doing what it is? Like we said, doing what they do.
Ryan Clark said, "It's not a surprise what they're gonna do." That's
right.
It's not a surprise.
We're gonna do what we do. The only question is, can you stop us from doing what we say we're gonna do? You talked about Bobby Knight. Yeah, we're gonna do what we do.
Right.
The question is, are you going to be able to stop us from doing what we do? We're going to prepare, we're going to plan, and we're going to execute better than you.
Yeah, Coach. I got to go with, and I know Coach is going with San Francisco. He would be a fool not to. That is his.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely. Team. But I'm going with Kansas City. I want to know from those of you that are watching. Our numbers are good today, Leroy. I want to know from those of you that are, because they want to talk football.
I know, right? Yeah.
This is Grown Man Podcast still. We still talking
about we're weaving it in there. We putting it in there for them, though. We putting the reman in there for them. So.
Tell me, I want y'all to tell me who y'all got Super Bowl Sunday. Who y'all got Super Bowl Sunday? Who you got? I know Coach Walter Sellers has San Francisco. Keshad, who you got? Lala, who you got? Crystal, who you got? Dwight, who you got? I want to know who y'all got for the Super Bowl this year. Leroy has given himself, he said Kansas City. I'm saying Kansas City. We are agreeing today. Johnny Bazemore said Kansas City. David Ray says, what's up, man? David Ray says San Francisco 49ers. Let's be clear. Whoever wins, it ain't gonna be a shock. It's not like right. This is gonna be a blowout either way.
Yeah, I definitely don't believe it's gonna be a blowout either
My
way.
wife is agreeing with me today. She's going with Kansas City.
She a Midwest girl, so I know she goes. Yeah.
Crystal Fendi Styles Clark says San Francisco 49ers. Okay, we look a bit split, Leroy.
Yeah, it does. Yep, it does look like it. It does look like it's split. So hey,
let's see. Let me put them up.
We'll find out in 2 weeks.
We'll find out in 2 weeks. Johnny Bazemore said the Chiefs. Lala says Kansas City. Crystal says San Francisco. Coach predicting scores. He's a prophet. This is the prophet score.
Hey, Coach.
Prophet. He's a lion prophet.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you this. Do you think that Purdy is ready for that moment, the Super Bowl moment, and all that's going to come with it? Because we've been talking about hype versus experience. And do you think he's ready for that moment and the stage and all of that he's going to have to deal with? Okay.
He asked this question, was Brady?
Yeah, Brady was ready from day one when he took that spot from what's his name? What was the quarterback's name? Oh, I cannot remember his name. But once Brady took that spot from him, he wasn't getting.
Said absolutely not. He ain't prepared. He ain't ready for that reason. He's not ready for that moment. The moment is big. The bright lights.
Yeah.
The bright lights. Yeah. The bright lights bring you got it. Tyson said everybody got a plan.
Until you get punched in the mouth. Everybody got one. He sure did say that. That is for sure.
He said, Coach said he came from behind twice in the playoffs. Yeah, that's the playoffs, though, Coach. This the Super Bowl. It's a different animal.
It's a different level. It's a different level.
It really is. It's a different level. And you go if they don't psychologically prepare, it is the difference between the coaching staff of the Niners and the coaching staff of the Chiefs. If you don't tell them, here's what the coach told the Niners, your team, Coach. I saw in an interview, he said they ain't never seen nobody like us. The Lions, yeah, they gonna play, but they ain't never seen nobody like us. And somewhere down the line, when it counted most, they believe that. They believe that. So it comes down to coaching, right? And it comes down to being in that moment and whether or not you have a coach, a head coach, and a coaching staff, a coaching core that really believe. It's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to Andy and Pat Mahomes having been here over and over and over again. You can't deny the experience of the moment, being able to handle. And everybody talks about, Leroy, everybody talks about the game. It's the whole event.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's all the stuff that you got to do leading up to the game. It's the bright lights of the moment.
You got family pulling on you because they want tickets to the game.
Right.
All of that. That's the preparation and planning, bro. Right. That we talk about. The execution is just in the game.
Right.
But the planning and the preparation, that's the key part. And we were talking about the levels. I think hopefully Lamar learned from yesterday the level that it takes in order to be able to get to the Super Bowl. The AFC Championship game is another level.
Yeah.
The regular season is a level. The playoffs is a level. The championship game is a level. And the Super Bowl is a totally another level.
For sure.
That you got to be able to get to and then rise up to that level, because each level gets high. Because my buddy and I, we talk about all the time the difference between high school and college sports. And the difference between college sports and professional sports. Yeah. Those are three different levels that you have to get acclimated to.
In the professional sports, you want to be good, you want to be great. You just want to be another one in the league, or you want to be great. I love what Leroy just said, Coach. I know Coach agrees with this. even though he's a diehard San Francisco fan, he has to agree with. There are levels to this.
Yeah.
There are levels to this. And bringing it back to us as men being entrepreneurs, listen, there are levels to this. There's a whole lot being said about six-figure businesses. Darnell Jervey Harmon, I hate the way she says it, but she is so accurate. $100,000 in a business is small business poverty. It just is. It's a great benchmark, but it's small business poverty. When you look at all the stuff that you've got to do, and there are levels to this. And being a small business reaching $100,000 is great, but it's poverty in comparison to being a business that is doing half a milli or a milli, right? That there are levels to this. And what is required for one level is there's something different required for the next level. And if you're not prepared for it, you can be a great regular. We see it with the Cowboys every year. We see it with the Cowboys every year. They're great during the regular season. Then they get to that playoff, that next level. Like we know that they're gonna fold like a coach. You know what
like
it is?
Like a lawn chair. Like they're gonna fold like a lawn chair. Fold like a lawn chair. Go on, say
like a lawn chair, right? So there are levels to it, and not everybody is able to handle. Look, Crystal mad. Crystal, don't be mad. Don't be mad. It's okay. Back up, sir.
Let me. I got a quick question for you. With that statement that the lady made, did she give in that statement? She wants to say that 100,000 is small business poverty.
Yes.
Did she give the statistics on the average small business? What the average small business is worth? Because I promise you, the average small business is not $100,000.
That is very true. But here's what she's saying, and it's absolutely true. When you look at running a business, right? Most solopreneurs are not doing what's necessary to run a business, right? So you know, most solopreneurs are making enough money kind of as a side hustle to pay some things that they need to pay. But when you start running a business and you got marketing and you got sales and you got vendors that you got to pay, out of that $100,000 that you've made, you've got so much going out that you as an entrepreneur are making less than you were making.
Correct.
When you were working on the job. So while it's a good benchmark, it is absolutely a good benchmark, because to your point, most small businesses aren't making $100,000. We saw the statistics the last time we did it, right? Most small businesses are doing about $22,000, $23,000 a year, right? But when you're serious about making change, and you're serious about hiring staff, and you're serious about doing all the things that are necessary to be able to impact community, $100,000 is a good benchmark, because it shows you, okay, you got some things moving, but you can't stay there, because it does not support. Correct. It doesn't support long-term who you need to be as a business owner. It doesn't allow you to hire. It doesn't allow you to do the things that are necessary for your business to grow, right? Well, small business by you can actually have thousands of employees and still be called a small business according to the way that they define small business, right? So small business is really defined. Let me look it up.
I forgot the dollar figure that they gave for,
but it's a
small business. And I'm thinking around like $1 million or something like that.
If you're making millions of dollars,
you're still considered a small. You can you're still considered a small business. Yeah, like I forgot what that number looks like, and even from an employee standpoint, because like you said, you could have a couple hundred employees and still be still a small business.
Exactly. Exactly right.
So
that's a good point though, Coach, because a part of what I am preparing now for Remand, I was looking at Leroy's I forget what day it was, maybe the 5th day of the 5-day challenge, looking at his plan and what his endeavors are for his own business, right? And 5-year plan, things of that nature. And so a part of what we don't do is ask ourselves, who am I going to have to be for me to reach 7 figures?
Yeah.
That is very different than who I am at 6 figures.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm going to have to become someone very different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Leroy talked about the black tax that comes along with being someone in the NFL Super Bowl, right? Black tax meaning everybody pulling on you with an expectation because you ain't talked to me in 15 years, but you in the Super Bowl now. So
Yeah.
I need a ticket. I need a ticket for me, Ray, Tone, and Buster. I need a ticket for all of us. Like my
Yep.
man, I don't even know you. I'm a friend of Buster's, right? So there's a black
Yep.
tax with the expectation that people think that when there's a level of success that they can ride that success, even though like you family, but we don't even get down like that.
Yeah. You ain't
Right.
talked to me in
So
8 years.
say it again.
No, I'm saying you ain't talked to me in 8 years, and
You
you
ain't
calling
talked to
me
me in 8
for.
years, but you want to show up. Nah, it don't work like that. So there's a level of courage you're going to have going to 7 figures, because it ceases to be personal. It just really isn't personal. And if you don't really address the mindset of an entrepreneur at 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, if you don't address the mindset that gets them there, then you're going to continue to stay in 6 figures because that's where you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's where
Yep.
you're comfortable, right? So I am right now reading books and preparing myself for 7-figure business. I'm still a 6-figure business. That's why I'm telling you, small business poverty is absolutely right. Now we are over 6 figures consistently, and that's good. It was a good benchmark, but I got to get to 7 because I got to have full-time staff. And the more you make, the more you can do, and the more accelerated your growth. But it all begins with making sure that you become someone different. Crystal Fendi Styles Clark says they always want that get a discount and get one free. Guess what?
And
The price is the price. Yes,
and we've got to get out of that mindset
we
that
do, Leroy.
about always, because we are, cousins and of the same hue, that you automatically get a discount. No, that's part of the reason why our prices as the black business owners are so high, because we don't have as many of us saying, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna pay this black business their worth. They're asking for this, I'm going to pay them this, and making it, not making it about, oh well, yeah, give me the 5, give me the hookup. I need the hookup, you know, and stop looking for the hookup and start paying for the service that you provide. Now I'm saying we ain't saying go and be with a business that's not doing that's not handling their business. We're saying doing business with those that are handling their business, and they are worth the amount of money that the services
And
that they're
then let me say
charging
this
for.
too, Leroy, because I'm gonna give you final words, man. You got to roll in a
Mm.
second,
But,
and I don't know whether or not anyone else is going to put you through what I've put you through today. So thank you for sitting in the hot seat.
oh no,
Um,
I'm good. You
yeah,
you
yeah.
know I told you. I told you. I'm gonna call it like I said. I'm a do like Petey. I'm gonna tell it like it's supposed to be told. You
Leroy,
don't play.
I want to talk about a bit, and maybe this is our next conversation tomorrow. Since Crystal is not really engaged today, she is engaged, but she was looking for your question of the day, trying to get you off the hot seat, right? Sometimes, every time, you have to develop a business, and you have to have people around you that are willing to do a heavy lift on the front end for the reward on the back end,
Correct. Correct.
right?
Mhm.
Like, can we let's talk about that tomorrow, but I want you to take 30 seconds, a minute or so, and just talk about the importance as a company is building, right? Reman can't pay 200 people right now.
Mhm.
We have to have people like yourself and like others that believe in the business enough to help me lift on the front end, with the expectation that on the back end, I'm gonna take care of you. We're gonna be good on the back end. But it's not always on the front end. We bust our tails on the front end with, I can't say little reward, but the reward is different. The reward is not always financial on the front end. Right?
Correct.
Can you give 30 seconds, man? Because it's 10:57. Give 30 seconds, a minute, of your thoughts about helping a business lift on the front end, so that we can get to the other side of where we need to get to take care of you and other people that need to be taken care of, whether it's your
It,
business or a coach's business or my business. Like, talk about that a bit.
no, and that's the thing, bro. If you doing, when you get into partnerships and collaborations, or you think about, you want to support a business, you got to do your homework. And you got to do your homework on the business, the brand, and the owner
Yeah.
of the business. Is this somebody that legitimately, they put in the work? They gonna put in the work. You gonna put in the work to make it successful.
Yes, sir.
You've got to look at those. You got to look at that, and that should be. And you gave it so perfectly. The personal value system. Look at the personal value system of those that you're going to be working with, and look at the brand value system. What does the company believe in? What that business that you want to be a part of or invested in on the front end, what do they believe in?
Very
And
true.
is it something that's sustainable? Is it something that's consistent? Is it something that's committed? Those are my brand value system and my
Yeah.
personal value system.
Yeah.
Are they committed? Do they have a vision? Do they have a plan
Yeah.
for where it is
Yeah.
that they going? Can they
Yeah.
tell you, hey, this is where we are, this is where we're going,
This is where
and
we're
this is
going.
how we're going to get there?
I love it. I love it.
If
I
you
love
can see those things and that's in alignment with who you are, then you should have no problem with saying, you know what? Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do
Let's
this.
go. Let's go do this.
Let's build. Let's build together. And
Yep.
then the business owner has to be willing to honor his word on the back end. I see that
Correct.
over and over
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
with businesses um, that you've had me watch, like Founder, all those businesses, Jobs, right? Those he was able, but it took him people that believe with him on the
Correct.
front end.
Yeah. It took him some years to
It took
build
him
what he
some
was what he
years.
was
So we
building.
see it in a 2-hour movie,
Right. But that
right?
was
That was
years.
years. Yeah,
For
yeah,
real, for real.
yeah, yeah. Hey man, it's been good talking to you today. The Grinch that stole the championship.
I'm pissed off, man.
Listen, those of you that are watching, do me a favor. We got some stuff coming up. Some absolutely great stuff coming up. If you have not gotten your ticket thank you, Nodella, for hitting me up, and I'll get with you today. Nodella wants to know about hotels and all that kind of stuff that is in the area. She absolutely plans to be there. The tickets are $149 for a general ticket. And if you want the VIP treatment, then it's $297. It's gonna be crazy. So if you want the details of how both of those tickets line up, all the things that will be involved with both of those tickets, just let us know. Hit me in a DM, hit Leroy in a DM. We'll tell you what we know, and always be honest with you about what we don't know. Sometimes in dealing with Black businesses and the way that Leroy has forced me to, Leroy said, Negro, are you really considering? That is my boy, right? And so we were able to pull together some Black business. We're going to do some great things with Black businesses. But let's be clear. Sometimes we got to be a little patient. Yeah, there's not going to be necessarily a flyer. A lot of this is by invitation only, simply because it is such a
Exclusive
limited
event.
space, an exclusive event. So you actually can have. We're not going to do a whole bunch of flyers and that kind of stuff. It is an exclusive event. There are certain people that we want in the room, like Crystal Fendi Styles Clark,
For
and
sure, for
like
sure.
our sister, that we genuinely want to be in the room, along with others. Because here's the deal: and we're very open about this. We're trying to get to the next level. We're trying to serve men at the next level. And so there are certain people that have to be in the room to foster that, right? And so we're incredibly excited about it. Um, so you'll get more information about what the VIP ticket entails, what the general ticket entails. Um, we treat the VIPs like VIPs. It's gonna be solid, really, really great event. Itinerary, yeah, we don't give all that out right now, Crystal. All of that is too subject to change 5 months out, right? So we have been talking about that, what the itinerary is going to look like, and there are just too many moving parts right now for us to be able to say that. Too many people that we've invited to speak that we don't know whether or not they've agreed. So there's a lot to consider when we're looking at the itinerary and things of that nature. Remember, we're still a good 5 months away. So as we get closer, we do know what's going to be involved with the tickets. We just don't know what the itinerary is going to look like. We know that we're going to be selling artwork from Black artists that are brilliant. We're going to be auctioning Black artwork. It's going to be, we got music that is going to be, I mean, dressing to the nines, music, great food, great networking. Those of you that are business owners, great networking. You want to do business in this area, or like Crystal is in Jersey, you want to do business with someone in Jersey. Yeah, it's going to be the opportunity of a lifetime. And for the VIPs, there are going to be special things that we give you that no one else will have access to. So it's going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal time. But we'll let you know more as the days go on, exactly what's going to be happening. But it is an exclusive event, so not everybody will be invited. Not everybody will be invited. So if you are interested, apply. That's probably the best way to say it. You got to apply, right? Because there's a certain energy that we want in the room. There's a certain connection that we want in the room, and we want everyone to be able to leave that and not just remain grow from it, but you grow from it, that you make connections that are going to advance your business and your cause and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a phenomenal time. I'm coming down May 31st through June 8th. Okay, outstanding. Yeah. It's gonna be a fun time. I don't know how many times you've been to Chocolate City. I know this is Leroy calls it the second Chocolate City. DC is a chocolate city, but I call it Chocolate City. I'm from Atlanta, and so I call it Chocolate City.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
listen, I
gotta
got to let
run.
Leroy on here.
I gotta run on that one.
I love and respect y'all. We'll talk soon. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Deuces.